see if this works. Oh, yeah, it looks like we're live. Okay, let me just share this. So, welcome to round 3 of the ALR GT7 Championship. This is Tier 3, and I am your commentator for today, Rostom. I am a Tier 2 driver and an admin for the league. I'm going to just open this live chat quickly. Say hello if you're joining, and let me know how your race is going, if you are in the race as well. So yeah, let's go through the grid quickly and get started because we're a bit late this week. I'm usually try to upload the day after the race, but we're actually the day before the next one. It's been quite a busy one. So we have Major Ecstasy in last place, which is quite surprising. He's in the Gen X, which is one of the fastest cars on the grid. So maybe he just didn't have much time to practice. This is a very technical track. It takes quite a lot of time to get used to the track and get some time. Kanata in the BRZ is P15. This got a midweek nerf, so he's probably lost a couple of tenths on where he'd usually be. Woozy P14 in the Toyota, so that's his worst qualifying of the season. He's usually around about the top 10. And then we got Prime Call making his debut, I think, for the season. He did the reserve race in round 1. He's in the Ford Mustang, which I think he's the only one in the whole league racing the Ford Mustang this season. So not sure how we'll get on with that, but so we'll want to keep an eye on definitely. Yuri P12, I think that's a bit of an improved qualifying for him. He is in, I can't remember what car he's in. That's not what I was meant to do. This one. He's in the AMG, so yeah, that's people are saying it got a little buff midweek as well. It got I think got some weight and horsepower added to it, so a bit of both, which could make it corner a little bit better, potentially give it a bit better top speed as well. Hurricane in the second BRZ, just outside the top 10 in P11, and then we've got Riaba making his second race in the row. He was a reserve, but now he's full-time replacing Sam Glove, so we'll expect to see him a lot more next season. Then we've got in P9, Brian's in the first Porsche. So remember, he had a really great first round. Bit of an anonymous second round, to be honest, and back in the top 10 for round 3. Whack Jamps was the driver of the week last week in Spa. So he'll be a bit disappointed with P8 because I think he's 4th in the standings at the moment. Then we got Dado in P7. He's set some quick laps, but he's not been that consistent so far this season, his first season in ALR. So we'll be hoping to find some consistency as we head towards the second half of the season. Filthy in P6, I think that might be his best qualifying of the season. Then we've got Dens in P5, which is actually his worst qualifying because he had a P1 and a P2 so far. So I don't know if that's to do with Toyota getting a tiny nerf. We'll have to see how he does in the race. Then we got Claus in P4, definitely his best qualifying of the season, the Tier 4 champion from last season. Then we got a new driver. He's not new to ALR. He was in Tier 5, but he got a double promotion last week because he was heads and shoulders above the pace of Tier 5. So we'll see how he does in Tier 3, and he managed to get on P3 in the grid on his very first go. So that's a really good opening qualifying session for him. Skinsy P2 and also P2 in the standings, and Peaky P1, who was P1 in the standings in the Volkswagen Beetle. So the two main championship contenders in the top 2. Then we got Dens in 5th and Whack Jams in 8th. Everyone else will be trying to improve a little bit and close the gap, but they'll have to overtake both Peaky and Skinsy in order to do that. So without further ado, let's get the 5 lights on and away we go. Let's see who gets the best start here. Got lights out, and it looks like a very good start there for Peaky. He seems to be driving away from Skinsy there. Let's see if Pagel can trouble Skinsy on the run down to turn 1. Looks like the Mazda hasn't got off to the best start there, and everyone is very close together. Looks like Pagel fell all the way back there, and he's down in P5. Dado's up to P4. Filthy's in P3. I think we need to rewind that from Dado's point of view. I think this is what was penalised. So off the start, we see the Lexus in P6. Filthy got a great start there. Dado's trying to move where it doesn't, well, it doesn't look a bit possible there. It looks like he pushes the Toyota, who, yeah, goes off into the gravel. Pagel and Dado actually benefited a lot there. He's up into P4. Filthy was the big winner there as well, and the top two have got maybe a second and a half of a lead. So let's join Skinsy here and see if he can try and close down Peaky. He definitely doesn't want him to get away, but this is going to be the main battle. So yeah, that incident from Dado there earned him a 20-second penalty. What we're doing moving forward is penalising double on the first lap. So if you get yourself into an incident on lap 1 and it's your fault, you're going to get double the penalty that you would on any other lap, because it has the biggest impact on the race. You need to be a bit more careful, basically. So both Peaky and Skizzy driving pretty cleanly here so far. Peaky hasn't made any mistakes, but if he does, Skizzy will be able to close the gap. And Filthy isn't too far back, actually, probably a second back. So it looks like Skinsy's not going to be able to reel him in on the straight. So let's have a little look down the grid. We've got Claus in P5. Riab has managed to improve a lot to P6 there. Whack up one place at P7. Then Hurricane, really good start to him at P8. And he's got Woozy right there trying to overtake him into P8. Looks like Hurricane's managed to hold it though. Woozy's lost a little bit of traction there, and now there's two Supras right behind Hurricane wanting to get past, and Den's all the way down in P10, so he must have been a big casualty from that first lap incident. Looks like a really late move there for Woozy. He's slightly ahead of Hurricane now, and he's got the move done, and it looks like Dens might be trying to move around the outside of Hurricane. He gets kind of pushed a little bit into the gravel, and he spins again! Oh, this is a disaster for Dens, and he's dropping back now. It's going to be all the way to the rear. Looks like Brian had a really big incident, and Prime Call as well. They're all the way at the back there. And Dens has a lot of work to do if he wants to get some points in this sprint race. So let's go back to the front. So we got Peaky in the VW Beetle, still quite comfortable. He's not extended and he's not lost, but he got that last corner all wrong and hit the dirt on both parts of the chicane there, and that's going to allow Skidsy to maybe have a go into turn 1 here. Now what's Peaky going to do? He usually defends the inside, but it looks like he's not going to do that now, and Skidsy's got a great opportunity to take the lead here, and he's got it. Looks like he's got it. Peaky's going to be able to come back at him though, and he's entitled to the space here, and he's got the inside line, and Skidsy's just lost that position as quickly as he gained it. Great bit of side-by-side racing by the pair of them. We've had a couple of incidents in the first 2 rounds between these two, and nice to see that they both got out of this one trouble-free. But that's allowed Filthy to close the gap as well, so now it's a 3-way battle for the lead. Just need to find my drink. Losing my voice here. So this corner is one that you can get an overtake done, but to go side by side through it is really difficult. You saw Peaky there going really wide on the exit, touched the gravel slightly, and that has allowed Skidsy to really get very close behind Peaky. He's going to have probably another run down the start-finish straight as long as he can nail this final corner. Peaky's managed to get away from him a little bit there. And Dado and Claus are pretty close as well. I'd say maybe 2 or 3 seconds separating the whole top 5 at this point. Fastest lap for Filthy, Claus a 1:19.5, so they can go a lot quicker than that as well. Wasn't enough there for Skidsy. He must not have got round to the final corner well enough to have a go at Peaky. There was discussions in the Discord server about a nerf to the slipstream, and you have to get a lot closer for the slipstream to actually kick in compared to previously with the most recent update that happened this week. So I don't think that's been confirmed, but it did definitely feel like it, and that's probably why Skidsy wasn't able to have a go at Peaky as well. I think you need to get a lot closer in, but once the slipstream kicks in, it does get really powerful as well. Top 5 very close. And then you got Riaba there in P6 as well. So he's having a good race on his return. He's in the Peugeot RCZ, which was very surprising. It actually made it down to the reserve teams pre-season because it is one of the fastest. It also got a little nerf, just like pretty much half this grid, to be honest. Not the VW Beetle and not the Mazda though. Let's ride on board with Skidsy. Let's see how he is dealing with the slipstream. So you see it kicking in there because he is pretty close now. You couldn't see the road underneath him. And he's gonna... Oh, it's last of the late breakers here. And it looks like Peaky did brake just a little better than Skidsy there. Skidsy couldn't get alongside in the braking and Peaky kept that position. Skidsy takes a much tighter line through that left-hander, which is not optimal, and he had to lift a lot, which is a bit of relief there for Peaky. Being put under a lot of pressure though, and this is really the kind of situation that will decide whether you win a championship or not. Can you handle the pressure, essentially, without making a mistake? Usually drivers in tier 2, tier 3 downwards can get pressured into mistakes fairly easily, just by having a car that is quick behind them, especially when you've got the screech of a Mazda RX Vision. But it looks like Peaky's managed to, again, just extend slightly in the last sector of the lap through the tricky part of it, but he takes a wider entry into the chicane and misses the apex completely, and this might, well actually Skidsy's a little bit further back than he was this time a lap ago, so it would have to be a dive bomb if he was going to try it, but we know Skidsy's not the type to try a risky dive bomb unless it's lap 1 at Spa. Again, wide there for Peaky, so that's 2 corners in a row that he's gone wide on the entry. Skidsy's really tempted to stick his nose in. It wouldn't have been a good idea. He wasn't, if he'd have been a little bit closer to turn 1, he'd have had that position basically, but he wasn't because he couldn't nail the final sector of the previous lap. So let's go a little bit further down, see what's happening. Looks like Filthy took a really wide entry into that corner, and Dado's not too far behind. So Volkswagen Beetles are P1 and P4. Clearly a car that loves this track. If you are watching and you're thinking, what should I race for next season? I guess the Volkswagen has gone under everyone's radars. It's definitely better than the other Group 3 VW, the GTI, which is one of those convertibles. Which I think is absolute sacrilege. Let's rejoin the front because Skidsy is close again. He brakes too much compared to Peaky. Peaky's going to get a better exit here, and he's not going to be troubled. So let's go a little bit further down. It looks like Filthy made a mistake there. Let's ride on board with Filthy. Let's see what happens to him. He just goes onto the grass there. I wonder if he'll get a penalty for that as well. I think he might just avoid the penalty, but he loses P3 quite easily to Dado there. And he avoids the penalty, but Claus might have a go at him because he lost all of his momentum. Claus is definitely reeling him in, and he might be alongside enough to try a bit of a dive bomb. He thinks better of it. I just tucks in behind Filthy. Let's see who we've got. We've got Riaba in P6 just comfortably, just watching the guys in front battling, actually probably within 5 seconds of the lead. It looks like Claus is trying a little lunge on Filthy there, and he didn't, it didn't pay off for him. And he's got the outside line. You could do a bit of a switch back here if you really nail the line, but he didn't. Then we got Woozy in P7 on his bit of a recovery. Pagel P8 after his first lap incident. So he's just driving consistently here. Whack in P9, so the complete opposite kind of race for Whack compared to last week when he was just comfortably in first place in the sprint, and then Kanata in 10th. So he's going to get a point, which at the moment, which is pretty good. Yuri definitely, I think, having one of his better races. I think he's struggled a little bit in tier 3, but he's really persevered, and he is improving as well as the races go on. It's difficult when you're a new driver and you haven't really done league racing, even if you've got the speed. Oh, he's going to get a penalty there. Yeah, half a second. We got Dens in P12, still recovering after those unfortunate incidents that none of them were his fault as well. Major 13th after starting last, and then we got these guys outside the points. Looks like Hurricane's all the way at the back. He had a huge incident on lap 2 there, but he's not even lapping under the 120s. Dent has the fastest lap in 18.7. So it looks like in the meantime, while we were going through the grid, Skidsy has lost a bit of pace to Peaky. Peaky setting a 19.9, Skidsy's 3/10 slower. They could still go a bit quicker than this though. Skidsy's tyres are very, very slightly better, and then Dado at P3. Filthy's pretty close to him. I think we're going to see a switch for the podium positions here fairly soon. Filthy's reading him in, and Claus is pretty close as well, and Riaba as well. Filthy's definitely in the slipstream here. Dado it looks like he's weaving a little bit. He went to the inside and then back to the outside. I think that's alright. He started on the outside, which is kind of the racing line, and he's going defensive into the turn, and that's allowed Filthy to get overtaken by Claus there. Claus had to go around the outside, and Filthy did, sorry, and now he's been overtaken as well by Riaba, so he just got bullied out of those positions and went from challenging to P3 to all the way back in 6th place, which is just unfortunate. And now Riaba might be smelling another couple of positions here. Dado looks like he might be holding them up a little bit as well. This guy's lapping outside the 1 minute 20s. 20.6 for Dado, the slowest of the 4. I think this would be Claus' first podium of the season. I don't think he's got one so far. If he can manage to overtake Dado here. His tyres are looking pretty bad though, considering we're only not even 12 minutes into the race. They shouldn't be doing that badly. I don't know if he's on pad actually, he might be. The Porsche doesn't have the best tyre life, and this is a track that's pretty brutal on tyres. So let's ride on board. Claus might not be close enough this time. No, he has to back out of it. And what about a little bit further back? Filthy wasn't close enough to try a move on Riaba either. Oh, Claus is getting impatient now. You can tell he wants this position before... well, if he could get it and Dado holds the other people up, it's an easy podium for him to be fair. But he wants the position before his tyres fall off, because once that happens, he's going to no longer be battling with Dado, he's going to be looking behind him. Let's have a quick check what's happening up front. Skinsy's managed to reel Peaky back in again, 19.1, half a second quicker than Peaky on the last lap. And his tyres are a little bit better. His front right is the only one that's any different to Peaky. He's got maybe 10% more life on it. They both go a little bit wide on the chicane. It looks like Skidsy just followed Peaky's line. Peaky actually got a better exit as well. I think Skidsy had to lift a little bit. Now, something has happened to Dado. Let's watch and see. So he was out of position there. Couldn't take the optimal line, and Claus just gets the position fairly straightforward. And then he goes wide into the chicane. He's going to cut it as well. No, he doesn't cut it, but Riaba got past fairly easily there, and now Filthy's going to try and do the same. And that's a disastrous couple of corners there for Dado. They're still battling into turn 1, so he might keep P5 here if he sticks it around the outside. No, he can't. So down to P6 and a 20-second penalty on top of that. Coming his way. Oh, he's going to try a late move. Not the best. Not the best racecraft there from Dado. He needed to back out of it, and he did, and luckily nothing happened to Filthy. But now he's falling behind. He might get caught by Woozy. So let's go back to the front, because Skinsy is once again... well, he's just following him at the moment. I wonder if he's not too bothered about overtaking him, and he's just trying to pressure him to see if he can pressure him to a mistake. It's not clear at the moment. Remember, there's not much in it between these two championship leaders, championship contenders even. Peaky's the leader. Skidsy could retake the lead, I think, if he overtakes Peaky in this race. 20 flat for Skidsy compared to a 19.6 for Peaky, so Peaky's doing a bit better now. Riaba chasing down Claws. They're both kind of left Filthy a little bit there, now that they're not being held up by Dado. It is the final lap as well. So let's join the battle for the lead, because we only have half a lap to go, and Skidsy's not too far away from Peaky. There could be a swap for positions here if Peaky makes the slightest mistake. He hasn't made a mistake all race though. All of his laps have been fairly consistent in the 19s and the 20s. Low 20s at that as well. Got a Super Mario helmet on. I've never noticed that before. And they round the final corner. Skidsy is super close here, but it looks like he's just not going to have... He'd probably have a move down into turn 1, but Peaky gets the win. His first win of the season. Skidsy gets P2. Looks like a drag race to the finish between Riaba and Claws. Riaba has just got ahead of Claws, and Filthy is just behind as well. So we've got Riaba P4, Claws P5, Filthy P6, Dado P7, Pagel P7, sorry, in on his debut. Really good result for him. Whack P8. Woozy was P9, and I think it was Dens was in P10. So that was the sprint race, and it was a great race for Peaky. Definitely deserved that win. Didn't put a foot wrong in qualifying or the sprint race, and extends his championship lead by, I think that's like a 6-point swing in his direction compared to Skidsy. The other two championship contenders, much worse for them. Whack and Dens won't be getting more than 3 points in total. So onto this feature, which is going to be a really difficult one for people to manage because the tyre wear is very high here, but the one stop is still the optimal strategy due to the pit stop being so long. So let's have a quick look at tyres. Let's see if everyone's on mediums so far. Hurricane starting on softs and Major's on mediums, so Hurricane will be wanting to get past Major pretty much straight away. We've got a rolling start, 40-minute feature race. Gen X on pole position after qualifying last, finishing the sprint race in last. Major will be wanting to redeem himself here. The Gen X has bags of pace here, but he's going to really shed through his tyres. Looks like Hurricane got a terrible start. He's actually getting put under threat by the Porsche there on Brian's. And he's lost the position already, unless he breaks late into turn 1. He does, and he manages to get the position back despite being in at a huge disadvantage there. So great bit of driving there from Hurricane. Brian right behind him, and Prime Call and Yuri really close behind as well. It looks like Hurricane's actually closed the gap already to Major. Remember, he's on the soft tyres, managing to use every inch of the track there. Oh, Major's got into the wall. Oh dear, and he's rage quit. Oh, I need to give him a warning for that. I didn't actually give him a warning for that. That's not very good, just quitting on the first lap there. Oh, it looks like Prime Call's got it off. It lost a bit of traction there. He's lost P3 to Yuri, and now Kanata's all up the back of him. Looks like Supra behind Dens is up into P6. I wonder if Dens and Woozy are going to be working together here. Bit of bump drafting maybe going on. So this worked out perfectly for Hurricane. On the soft tyres, he's in P1 on the first lap of the race. And he's going to be able to try and build a lead. Oh, looks like a really late move there from Dado. Managed to get away with it though, probably because he was left space there for Woozy. Everyone all very close here. Skinsey is still, well, he's currently in last. He's only P13. And Briaba, so the top three are still in the bottom three for the race. Let's see how Hurricane's doing. Hurricane has built maybe a 2-second lead over Brian's at the moment. And Brian himself has built a nice little gap to Yuri as well. And then it gets a bit more bunched up from Kanata downwards. He's really under pressure from Dents. We'll want to get past him fairly quickly. Dents has a lot more pace than Kanata so far this season. So rounding the final corner onto the straight again. Looks like Dents might have a run now. Kanata is defending the inside. It might be in vain though, because he's got such bad straight line speed. He does brake a lot later though, which the Subaru has in its arsenal, and manages to keep P5. Very similar move to how Hurricane kept P2 on the first lap. In the same car as well. And Kanata going really defensive there, brakes a lot earlier. It looked like he almost gave the position away, which I know wasn't the case. But yeah, just broke way too early, and now Dens has P5. And now he's got another Toyota behind him, Woozy. Woozy's got a much better exit from that corner. Absolutely getting caught with his pants down by these Toyotas. And that is how you go through that corner side by side. Both of them managed to completely avoid contact and stay on the track, and Woozy got the move done. Oh, he loses a bit of traction on exit there. Kanata might have a little chance. This is where the Subaru is at its quickest on these fast corners, because it's got so much grip. If he can stay in the slip, he might have a chance. He is in this really close in the slip actually. Look at that, Pagel is really close behind as well. And are we going to see another late move? No. Kanata could have thought about it, but he backed out. Everyone's really close together. Look at what's happening here. Vilfi and Dado having a little battle now. Dado's dropping down after I think he was at P7 at the beginning of the previous lap. And he's trying a really late move there. He loves to dive bomb. And now there's yellow flags. I wonder who that is for? Who was that for? I'm not sure. That was weird. There was yellow flags out, but no one had an incident. Let's see what the gap up front is looking like. You can't even see Brian. Well, there he is. Maybe 3 seconds back, I would guess that is. Hurricane lapping in the mid to low 19s at the moment. Gets really wide on that corner. You can see Brian went really wide as well though. And then we've got Dents catching up. Oh, it must be Yuri. He dropped from P3 to P5 there and brought out the yellow flags. Dents too far behind at the moment to have a go at Prime Call, and that Mustang does have a pretty good engine in it as well. So overtaking it on the straight should be quite difficult, in theory. It's a good car, that Mustang. I won a Group 3 Tier 3 championship in it about a year ago, but that was pre-physics update. What's happening here? Looks like Woozy did manage to get past Kanata now. Now he's right behind Yuri. These Toyotas really looking quick around this track specifically. Toyota was another one that had a, I think it lost some horsepower in the recent update, but it doesn't seem to be affecting them on this track. Oh, really wide there from Yuri, and he's got into the gravel. cars behind battling. Looks like Pagel's making his way past Kanata now into P6. And then we got Filthy and Dado still battling. These two have really stuck together in the sprint race and the feature race so far. Jostling for position. Now we got Peaky. Might want to have a go. Let's ride on board with him. Looks like he's got past Dado fairly easily, but that is his teammate. He might be getting a penalty there. Really wide, and Riaba had to go off the track there to overtake. Let's ride on board with Riaba on bonnet cam. There it is. How did he manage to do this? I'm surprised he didn't get a penalty there. That's for an overtake off track. Really impressive overtake though. If the game allows it, it must have been alright, because the game is pretty good on track limits. Really good exit there from Dado. He's going to close in on Filthy again. And Filthy defends the inside. Dado really sends it down the outside, but like couldn't turn the car in because there was a car right next to him. Now Riaba and Peaky are going to have to try and overtake Dado once again. A bit further up. We got Dens right behind Prime Call now. Really, really close to getting a move done. Hurricane's got the fastest lap still on his softs, as you'd expect. Dens, who had the fastest lap. Oh, yellow flags. What's happened? Oh, I think it was Hurricane. He's in P2. Let's see. He goes, yeah, he takes too much speed around the corner. Totally spins it. He's going to cook his tyres now as well. So Brian takes the lead of the race. And Hurricane has all sorts of damage. Front bumper, rear bumper, and front right tyre. I think that's suspension damage. So he might get overtaken here by Prime Call. He's actually battling with Dens as well. So he's going to have 3 wide into turn 1 by the looks of things. Hurricane's going to lose P2. Oh no, he just pushes Prime Call off the track. Let's rewind that. That looks pretty dodgy. Let's watch from Hurricane's point of view. He's got damage still. And then yeah, he just uses the full width, pushes. That wasn't reported, I don't think. That would have definitely got a penalty. And what a shame for Prime Call. He's lost 3 positions out of that. Should have had P2 comfortably there. Not very good driving from Hurricane. But helps Dens out because he's got 1 less driver to overtake. If he can safely pass Hurricane, he's got a good chance of catching Brian. It's about a quarter, nearly a quarter of the way through the race. None of the big players have managed to, from the first race anyway, have managed to work their way through into the top 8. So Dens isn't going to have a go at Hurricane anytime soon. Hurricane's still on the best tyres. Let's go all the way to the back. Yuri's unfortunately at the back now. Claw's not having the best time. He's dropped down to P14. Whack hasn't made his way through the field at all. In fact, he's also dropped. And then we've got Skinsy with Riaba and Peaky. The 3 podium drivers have only made that up to 10th to 12th place at the moment. But it looks like Peaky is about to overtake his teammate once again. It's taken him a little bit of time, but now he's got P9, and maybe his teammate's going to start backing up the rest of the drivers, and Peaky will be able to drive away and capitalise on this good bit of teamwork, mate work here. Looking at it all over the back of Filthy with Prime Call there, and the Lexus Filthy just ahead. Oh no, the other Lexus, who is that? Pagel. I forget because he's new. So Pagel holding them up actually a little bit here. What's his times? Well, it's 22.4, that's why. 2 of his last 3 laps have been in the 22, so he's been making mistakes. He actually got a much better exit of that corner than Prime Call, who's got Filthy all over the rear, trying to put his car out of position to maybe make him force him into a little mistake there. He goes a little bit wide on the exit there, prime call as well, as we go into the final corner. Wide again, and this is going to be a great opportunity for Filthy to get the move done. Oh, I don't know what he was doing there, but he lost all sorts of momentum. So things looking pretty good for the Porsche driver, Brian, all the way at the front. He's on the medium, so he's got the optimal strategy here, medium to soft. And it's really a battle between him and Dents for the win at the moment. 2 Toyotas in the top 3 as well, so could be a great opportunity for them to get to the front of the championship. I think the Mazda guys are at first at the moment, but they are both outside the top 8. Oh, Filthy sends it! I was not expecting that. He was miles back, and they both managed to get through it, and Filthy doesn't get the position in the end. But he does lose both of them a little bit of time to haggle up front. And it also allows Peaky to get really close behind Filthy, so Peaky's got a great opportunity now to continue. He also dispatched Kanata at some point in this lap, which we missed. That. Great overtake there for Peaky, very clean. And he's up to P7 now, so things looking good for Peaky. What about a bit further down? We've got Dado and P9 still, well he's managed to get past Kanata there as well, so Kanata going backwards again. And Riaba will be the next one trying to get past him. Dado goes incredibly wide into that corner, gifts the position back to, well, almost does to Kanata, but he's got the inside line for the next corner. It's going to be a great opportunity for Riaba to get a run on both of them. Oh, he didn't get the exit. He didn't nail it, so he couldn't accelerate quicker than the 2 in front who were compromised. Oh, something's happening up front. Peaky trying to get on Filthy. Filthy actually kept coming back on Peaky, I should say. So he's not giving up easily here. And Peaky manages to out-accelerate the Lexus there. Now, and he takes that last quick chicane much better, and gives him some breathing space for next time. Kanata defending from 2 cars here. Skinsy's now back in the mix, challenging for P10, so he might get past Kanata. He's got, well actually he's on the outside line, he might have to, oh he's going for it. Great overtake around the outside there, had much better traction than Kanata, and he takes P11, and Kanata's just falling backwards a couple of positions every lap at the moment. And it looks like Dado might be doing the same pretty soon, because Riaba looks like he's reeled him in nicely. Filthy going quite wide ahead of him as well. Just looking at the mini-map at the top there, Ryan still has a bit of daylight between him and Dent, so he's still racing fairly consistently there, not getting reeled in too quickly by the Toyota driver. Hurricane very close to the back of Woozy now, so he's recovering fairly well, even though his tyre's nearly completely dead on the front right. No one's close enough to have the move done though here. Maybe Claws on back jumps all the way at the back. Oh, I tell a lie. Looks like Riaba tried a really late move on Dado here. Let's watch. He looks a bit too far back to try and move, but maybe he's getting a bit impatient. Brakes really late, actually decides to go for it. Nudges Dado out of the way. Both of them stay on track though. Dado keeps the position by the looks of things. Riaba, Yeah, Rehab concedes. He knew that was a bit of a naughty one, and now he's under a bit of pressure now from Skinsey. Skinsey has a look. They're going to be still side by side here. Really difficult to overtake in that corner because you can go too wide for these couple of corners here, and it's usually the one on the outside that can win as long as they can survive the first corner and stay side by side. But it's not over yet. And Riaba looked like he was about to concede, but he's still trying. Now Skid's got the inside for the next corner. Everyone's really bunching up behind them now. And they're still side by side. This is a great race between the pair of them. And they're still side by side again. Every single corner, like, they're switching back on each other. And now we're at the end of the lap, so they've done at least half a lap. Peaky's the first one to go into the pit. Skidsey's joining him. Obviously, felt like he was losing too much time. Who else is in the pits? Kanata and Dado. So let's join our race leader, lapping in the 120s in the Porsche. Fairly solid race in there. Probably, let's ride on board with Dens, see how far away he looks to be. Well, you can't even see Brian from Den's point of view. There he is. I would say 4 or 5 seconds is the gap at the moment. Maybe 3. I can't engage distance very well. And then they've both got a fairly decent gap between Woozy, who's still ahead of Hurricane, but Hurricane's going to have to pit onto the mediums and start falling back. And then Pagel having a pretty decent feature race coming through the field, and he's in a solid P5. We've got Prime Call kind of battling with Filthy still. And we've got Riaba in P8, Claws up to P10 because everyone has pit, and Yuri and Wack are the last of the non-pitters. So where is Skinsey in relation to Filthy? Peaky, sorry. So Skinsey's a long way back compared to Peaky, so this is really advantage Peaky once again in the feature, just like in the sprint. He's managed to carve out a much bigger gap to Skinsey this time though. And then Dado is pretty close behind Skinsey. You see Wack has come into the pits there. Anyone else? I don't think. Any battling going on? Maybe this battle between Filthy and Prime Call is the closest one we're gonna get. Let's follow this Mustang around. Its tyre life has been pretty decent actually, the Mustang. It used to have horrible tyres. We are nearly halfway through the race, so we need to get... Oh, overtaking is prohibited. What's happened? It's Brian. What happened? From the race lead. Right, let's ride on board. It looks like he's had a couple of mistakes here. Let's get body cam on the go. Oh, he just gets... Yeah, he goes too deep into this really tough right-hander. So that loses him a chunk of time, maybe 2 seconds. And then his tyres, maybe his tyres are dying, but he's just lost all of the traction there. And now he loses the lead of the race, gifts it to Dens, which is great news for him after a bit of an anonymous race. Woozy into P2, so it's a super 1-2 now. And Brian rejoins in P3, so not the end of the world, but that is not ideal. Dens comes into the pits. Looks like Woozy's carrying on. Looks like Brian's going to carry on as well. Hagel also carrying on. Same for Prime Call. Filthy's coming in. Riaba's carrying on. Claw's got a penalty on the final chicane. Yuri's still with it, which is pretty decent for Yuri. And we got Peaky. Let's follow Peaky on board, who's actually managed to get the undercut on Hurricane, so he doesn't have to worry about overtaking this medium tired Hurricane. And he's gonna come out. Well, Dens has come out ahead of him already. He's away. And it looks like Filthy is gonna come out behind Hurricane, so he's gonna have to overtake him, but ahead of Skinsey, which is key. going to have a bit of an undercut on the guys who've stayed out again. Any battling going on? Let's find something. Well, the top three are pretty close together now. Woozy, Brian, and Paggle's managed to close the gap. I mean, Brian lost 10 seconds there. So let's see what happens to him at the end of the race and take 10 seconds off, and we can see what his potential was in this race. Surely everyone's coming in now. Yeah, Brian's coming in. Actually, Paggle's carrying on again. So his tyres are nearly dead, but he's got lots of his tank left because he is in the Lexus. It's got similar actually to the Mustang. We have it carrying on as well, and Yuri. So I'm expecting Dens to come out ahead of Woozy quite comfortably. But Woozy should be in second place unless he's been undercut by anybody. And the one that would undercut him would be Peaky if it was anyone. Woozy filling up a lot there. Peaky does get past him. And Hurricane gets past Brian. Filthy gets past Brian. Looks like Dado got past Brian. Skinsy got past Brian as well, so he's all the way down into 11th. Someone's got off the track there. It was the Subaru, it was Hurricane. He loses 2 positions there, down into P9 for Hurricane, and now he's going to come under pressure from the championship contender Skinsy. Now Skinsy's going to try and move around the outside. It's going to work. Doesn't work this time. Because he is very, very good at cornering and maintaining the speed whilst cornering as well. Paggle finally coming into the pit. Skizzy trying to move down the inside. He's gonna get it done, and Hurricane tried to turn in too early. Got caught by Brian, who just took that position fairly easily as well. Good little overtake there for Brian to capitalise on that. He's gonna have to try and make his way through the field after his 10-second spin on lap 14. So Peaky up into P3 now. So we got Riaba, who is still out. Dens, who is basically the net race leader. I don't know why Riaba's staying out this long, to be honest. He'll be on very fresh tyres at the end compared to these guys, though. Peaky P3, Woozy up to P4, ahead of Filthy, who's been battling a lot, but he's still really high up. Paggle in P6 after he came out on his late pit stop. So behind Filthy, Skinsy threatening to overtake him in P7. Same with Brian. These guys are really close together. Skinsy gets the braking for that corner all wrong. And now he might be gifting this place to Brian. He needs to get a move on Skinsy because this is very bad for his championship. His rival is a P3. Also, Dens is a P2, could be closing the gap a lot as well. Riaba's finally coming into the pits. I wonder if he's going to even be in the top 10 when he comes out. Oh, Ryan nearly lost it in the same place again. He's not enjoying that corner at all. Maybe needs to turn on traction control to deal with it. Riaba, let's ride on board with Riaba and see where he drops down to. He's still putting fuel in the car, and all these people are just overtaking him. He's down in 9th. I think he'll keep 9th, but Prime Call is closing the gap really quickly there. So Riaba rejoins behind Hurricane in P9. But he's got the freshest tyres on out of everyone in the field now, so he could be able to carve his way through. With the extra grip that's going to give him, particularly at the end of the race. But he goes really wide into the left-hander there and manages to keep P9, but he needs to put the hammer down now and just hit the apexes as well, which he's not done for 2 corners in a row. Dado outside the top 10, as is Kadata. Claus and Yuri have been pretty much line astern the whole race, and Whackjack's down in 15th. Remember, this guy was the quickest guy around Spa. He's maybe a one-track wonder. but he's not having fun here. Dens has the race lead, and he's got a very, very comfortable race lead. He could cruise to the finish line in autopilot at the moment. Peaky in P2. He's lapping in the 21s though. That's not very quick for these soft tyres. And then Woozy is heading this big train of cars. Basically the whole field, apart from Dens, is very close together here. Definitely not my best performance. Yeah, well, next week's new week. Hopefully you've had some practice on Dragon Trail. No one's really that close to each other. It's all just driving around in a train at the moment. Let's follow Filthy for a bit, because he is pretty close to Woozy, and these guys are trying to chase down Peaky as well. They're a little bit quicker than him at this moment in time, which is surprising, actually. Oh, they all go a little bit wide around that. Probably the most difficult corner of the race, the uphill right-hander, but you're actually braking downhill and then you turn as you start going uphill again. So 15 minutes left, just the length of a sprint race basically left on this race. Looks like there was a little oh no, what's happening now? Don't say it's the same corner again. No, it's going to be the last chicane, the fast one. Yeah, takes too much curb, loses it. Ah, this is so unfortunate. This guy could be leading the race right now, and now he's outside the top 10. But that's a good, some easy positions for everyone else. Reba's first lap on the soft was a 20.4, so he could be doing a lot better than that if he wants to catch up to some of these guys. Skizzy, ooh, on the grass there. Let's follow Woozy. He's really, well, he was 8/10 quicker than Peaky on this last lap. Don't know if Peaky's just struggling to reacclimatise his driving to the soft tyres, but he's lost a lot of his speed here, and I'm not entirely sure why. Oh, yes, I do know why. Look at his fuel. He's underfueled, hasn't he? Look at his fuel. Let's compare it to Dens. Dens has 50%. He's maybe got 45. Woozy has maybe 55%. Yeah, he has. He's put at least one lap too little fuel in there, hasn't he? And this might penalise him massively. Is he short shifting? Let's find out. Well, he's not short shifting. I wish we could see what fuel map he was on. A 20.6 there. 6/10 again slower than Woozy. I'm gonna stick with this battle because I have a feeling Peaky might have really shot himself in the foot as far as extending his lead in the championship is concerned. Ooh, Woozy's got a little bit wobbly there, but manages to keep the car pointing the right way, unlike what we've seen Brian do a couple of times on the stream. Actually, second down to fifth is all very close together. Peaky loses it a little bit on the exit and touches the gravel. It allows Woozy to maybe try and move around the outside. He's got the traction, and it looks like he's actually going to get away with it. Peaky's still got his nose in front because we keep going around left-handed corners. And he's got the position. Looks like Filthy's going to try a move on Woozy now. And Filthy takes Woozy fairly easily there. And now is he going to have a run on Peaky, or is he going to get overtaken again by Woozy? Let's ride on board with Woozy and see what happens between these three. Looks like we're going to go 3 wide into turn 1 potentially. Filthy backs out of it. Woozy's going to try and get P2. Let's see if he can nail the corner. Peaky on the outside there. They keep it on the road. Peaky keeps P2 just for now, at least. And it's as you were in terms of the positions. Peaky keeps P2 and Woozy keeps P3. Now we got... Actually, Skinsy has joined this battle now, because Filthy and Paggle's managed to get past Filthy there fairly straightforward. Skinsy just biding his time. Something is probably going to happen here. Filthy and Paggle, these are teammates, bear in mind. Battling into this really tight right-hander. Filthy's going to get the position. Skinsy really has to back out of it to avoid hitting the back of Paggle there, and he manages to. What about Woozy and Peaky? This is all kicking off now. Peaky loses a bit of traction on the exit. He's lost all sorts of momentum here. Woozy very close behind him. Woozy might have another run on, as long as he can nail this fast chicane. It looks like Peaky got a much better exit there, and it started to extend a little bit. What about a bit further back? Skids might have a little run on Paggle here. So Filthy ahead of Paggle in the Lexus battle. What about further back? Riaba's all the way down in 7th. He's ahead of Prime Call now. Then Hurricane's still in the top 10 despite being on those mediums. And Kanata also in the top 10 for the BRZs. I wonder if they'll come together a little bit later on. But let's stick with this battle. Let's join with Skinsy so that we can see all the cars ahead. Wide there for Woozy. So that's going to give Peaky a little bit of respite. This is a great little battle. Any one of these could finish on the podium, and anyone could end up down in at least P6, I guess. Looks like Filthy's really close to Woozy now, so he's picking his way through the field. Filthy really well at the moment. Great drive, probably his best night of maybe the past 2 seasons, to be honest. Since he's dropped down to tier 3, he's kind of struggled a little bit, but he's really looks like he's got a bit between his teeth today. Might come under threat from his teammate again, though. I don't know if they how much their cooperation is as teammates. It is the first race together as teammates. Tap actually won the first race in the in the first round, the feature race in the Lexus. Don't think they've had a podium since then. Paggle's looking, he had a little look, but I don't think he was ever going to try and move there. So once again, Peaky's not getting away from these guys. Let's ride on board with him. Is he short shifting yet? I don't know. Let's find out. He's got less than a quarter of a tank left, and we've got 7 minutes left plus a lap. Look how much more fuel Woozy has in comparison. He's got like maybe 35% I would estimate, and Peaky's on maybe 23%. He might have been calculating, not because you can get an extra lap out of this. He may be calculating that he's not going to actually get to that extra lap. Which is a bit silly when you wanted to compete at the front in every race. I'd love to know what happened actually. But yeah, if Peaky can get P2 here, then he's played an absolute blinder. Skinsy actually falling back a little bit on this battle. What's happened a little bit further back? Riaba's starting to catch this. He's starting to see them now. He was a lot further back before. Lapping in the 1:19.8. Dens has a 19th flat though, so 8/10 quicker than what Riaba's managing. And 20.1 is Prime Call's best lap. And Hurricane's struggling now. He's ooh, we got Claus trying to get into the top 10, but he's got a half-second penalty, so it's not going to happen anytime soon. Dado's struggling. Wack is recovering to P13 at the moment. Yuri and Brian really struggling as well. We've just got Dens all on his own here. I think we need to just keep on with these guys. Really wide there for Boozy. Might open the door a little bit for Filthy as he closes the gap a little bit. Much tighter line into the corner from Woozy. Filthy has a bit of a run, but it's the road's just not long enough for Filthy to take advantage of it. And every time someone makes a little micro mistake, the car ahead a couple of corners later seems to make it, so they're just not getting away from each other. Peaky's been under pressure pretty much the entire night, to be honest, and he's not made any mistakes yet, apart from potentially under-fueling. The jury's still out whether on that one though. Really dodgy final chicane from Kanata and Claus there. What's happened to Yuri? He span it again. So easy to do. Just so easy to kind of take a bit too much speed through that corner. And he's been relegated to the back of the pack for now. Meanwhile, Woozy's making even more mistakes. He's really having a tough time at the moment, Woozy. The tyres are pretty much dead. Let's have a little tyre check on this battle. Peaky's got the best tyres, but he's just gone red on his fuel with a lot of time still left on the clock. Woozy's got worse tyres but much better fuel. Filthy's better on both counts. Got Pagel and Skinsy pretty close to each other behind, but let's stick with this battle because they are all within a second of each other now. And maybe for the first time, Peaky's not had a better exit from that corner. And he's going to have to relinquish P2 here. And it's because he's on red fuel. I don't know if he noticed it before now, but yeah, that was a very easy position to lose. And maybe he can last another lap before he has to give up another one to Filthy behind. But let's see if Filthy is feeling adventurous here into the next corner. Quite a big braking zone. He's gonna have a look. Oh, bit of a half go there. Didn't work out, and Peaky has the position still. And it's a Supra 1-2 as it stands. Should be a great result for them. Yeah, Peaky's not able to put his foot down at all. That's an easy P3 there for Filthy. Now it's going to be Pagel next to try and overtake Peaky. This is quite sad to watch actually. Skinsy and Riaba as well. Riaba's really done well to catch up to this pack. I don't know if it's because Peaky was holding them back, but yeah, Skinsy wants to have a go at Pagel, and they might get past Peaky here at the same time. It's like Woozy's managed to. It's really difficult to see who. Let's do this. Filthy's managed to get past Woozy. Looks like Pagel's got past Peaky. Looks like Skinsy's got past Peaky. They all make it through the corner. Now Skinsy's got past Pagel as well. Great move there from Skinsy. So he's taken 2 positions in one go. And now we've got Pagel and Peaky battling, and Riaba looking to just capitalise on that as well. He's going to try the move. And he makes it. Bit messy, but he actually gets 2 positions in one there for Riaba, so he's up into the top 5, and all the positions have dramatically changed in the space of 2 laps here. great to see. Not if you're peaky though. Pagel jostled down one position there. Riaba up into P5 on much fresher tyres, although they're almost nearly gone as well. And Skinsey, all of a sudden, from being several positions behind Peaky, several positions ahead, and potentially charging for a podium as well. Let's see. Oh, Woozy's gone wide. He's gone wide again. This is going to be a great opportunity for Peaky, Skidsy, sorry, I get them all confused, to actually get a double podium for his night. After what looked like quite a quiet feature race for him. And Woozy's gone from P2 to P4 in one go. We're actually seeing other drivers cross the finish line. So let's have a quick look. Prime Call 8th, Hurricane 9th, Kanata 10th, Dado is going to come at 11th, and Claus 11th, Dado 12th, Wack 13th, and Yuri 14th, and Brian 15th, actually 2 laps down. We're going to see any more changes. Woozy's actually lost a position there to Riaba. Let's see what happened. Riaba deciding, oh, that wasn't a good one. That might have got a penalty if it was reported, but Riaba's up to P4. Let's join Dens. Look at the gap that he's got on the minimap there. That is an enormous lead that he's had. He carved his way through the field pretty easily, and now he is going to cross the line to take his second win of the season. He also won in Spa. This is going to catapult him right up into championship contention. He's going to be P3 still in the standings, but getting a win, filthy P2, definitely his best result in Tier 3 over the last couple of seasons. You love to see it when a driver improves. Although he's going to keep it, is Skidsy going to manage to get him? We've got yellow flags, I don't know why. Yep, P3, Riaba P4, Woozy out of fuel, but in P5, just ahead of Pagel. And then Peaky must have had a mistake. Let's see what happened to him. It's because he's completely out of fuel, that's why the yellow flags were out. As expected. And he manages, because he managed to get to the final lap, which is why he finished 7th, essentially. So he could have had a P2 and had a commanding lead in the championship, but he doesn't. He's in P7. I think his lead is pretty slender because overall Skidsy had a better race than him. So it's nice to see that the championship is still pretty close between the top 3 heading into round 4, which is going to be tomorrow at Dragon Trail Seaside. So I will join you then. Yeah, and thanks for watching.